Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we are going to tackle the literal million-dollar question. What does $1 million retirement actually look like? It's a number we've all heard, a goal a lot of us are aiming for. But as we're about to see, what that money really buys you can change a lot, depending on one huge factor.
You know, for as long as I can remember, $1 million has been the number for retirement, the golden ticket, right? But it turns out the real answer is, well, it's way more complicated and honestly way more fascinating than you probably think.
Okay, get this. If you retire in a state like Hawaii, that $1 million nest egg, even when you add in Social Security, could be totally gone in just 12 years. I mean, think about that. For most people, that means you run out of money in your mid-70s. After a lifetime of saving, that's shockingly fast.
But now let's completely flip the script. You take that same $1 million, move to West Virginia, and it could last you an unbelievable 89 years. No, I'm not kidding. 89. The difference is just staggering.
So, we have to dive into this, right? Because this isn't just about some clever budgeting trick. This is about the fundamental value of your money changing. Like, a lot, depending on where you are. It turns out, your zip code might be the single most important part of your retirement plan.
So let's really dig in here and figure out why your zip code has such a massive impact. I mean, we're not talking about small tweaks to your budget. We're talking about two totally different retirement realities, all coming from the exact same savings account.
And to really wrap your head around this, let's just put the best and the worst states side by side. Seeing these extremes really drives home just how massive this geographic gap is.
Okay, just look at this for a second. The difference is absolutely astounding. We're not talking about, a few extra years of comfort. We're talking about a 77-year gap between retiring in West Virginia and retiring in Hawaii. I mean, that's an entire lifetime for some people, and it all boils down to the cost of living.
So why? I mean, what is driving this huge difference? Well, to get it, we need to talk about something called purchasing power. It's not just that things are more expensive in some places, it's that your actual dollar is worth less. And this slide just illustrates the point perfectly. The very same $100 bill that's in your wallet right now, it buys you almost 50% more stuff in Pine Bluff, Arkansas than it does in San Francisco. This one little fact, it's the engine driving all those massive differences we just saw.
Okay, so let's break it down. What specific costs are creating these huge gaps? If your nest egg is getting eaten up faster in some states, where is that money actually going?
All right, so where's all the money going? Well, everyone's budget is obviously a little different, but the data shows a really clear pattern. Housing is the monster. It's the biggest piece of the pie, eating up more than a third of the average retiree's budget. After that, you've got transportation, and then the big one we're going to get into in a minute, healthcare.
Let's just zoom in on housing for a second. Look at this. The average yearly housing cost for someone retired in California is more than 2.5 times what it is in Mississippi. That one difference, right there, could add or subtract decades from your retirement savings.
And you see the same kind of crazy pattern with healthcare. The cost in a state like Alaska is almost double what you'd pay in Arkansas. And here's the kicker. This is a cost that's only going to go up as you get older.
Okay, let's talk about healthcare, because this is a massive blind spot for so many people. It is probably one of the most complex and honestly, dangerously underestimated costs in all of retirement planning. So many people just assume, oh, Medicare will cover it. But the reality? It's way, way more expensive than you think.
In fact, a recent in-depth report from the financial experts at Milliman points this out exactly. They found there's this huge gap between what people think they're going to pay for healthcare and what the real costs actually are.
Okay, here is the number that should really make you sit up and pay attention. According to Milliman's 2025 data, a healthy 65-year-old woman needs to have, wait for it, $203,000 saved just for healthcare costs. And that's on top of her other retirement savings. And that's after she's already on Medicare with a good Medigap plan. Wow. So, to deal with these costs, retirees basically have to make a really big decision. After you get on regular Medicare, you've got to choose one of two main paths to follow. And this choice, it's a huge trade-off. Think of it this way. Medigap gives you more freedom and protects you from surprise medical bills. But you pay for that peace of mind with a higher monthly bill. On the other hand, Medicare Advantage plans, they often have super low or even $0 monthly payments. But the catch is,
They limit which doctors you can see and could leave you on the hook for some really high costs if you get seriously sick.
Okay, so look, you can't control inflation, right? You can't control the stock market. But what the data shows is that there are some really powerful decisions you can make to stretch your savings and basically take control of your own retirement story.
So, what can you actually do about all this? It really boils down to 4 key levers you can pull. First up, when you retire. It really matters. Just delaying a few years can slash your lifetime healthcare costs. Second is your health. Pretty obvious, right? Staying healthy saves you a ton of money. Third is your lifestyle, how you spend. And finally, that Medicare plan decision we just talked about, that single choice can change how much you need to save by over $100,000. That's a game changer. So the experts at Middleman basically say you should use these questions to have a real, honest talk with yourself and probably with your financial advisor too. This isn't about just guessing and hoping for the best. It's about making smart choices based on what really matters to you: your health, your money, and your freedom in retirement.
So, at the end of the day, that million-dollar question, it isn't just about how much you manage to save up. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding that the choices you make about how you live, and maybe most importantly, where you live, are what will truly define what that $1 million can do for you.